The Gulf of Aden has always been a narrow corridor between survival and disaster, a place where the map tightens, the stakes rise, and the water carries the lifeblood of global trade. For decades, it's been a corridor of risk. Pirates with rifles used to haunt these waters. Now it's drones and missiles, silent until they strike. Every sailor who passes through knows one truth. This sea remembers every shot ever fired. On the night of September 29th, 2025, one of those missiles found its mark. A Dutch-flagged cargo ship, the Minervagracht, was caught in the fire. Before we dive in, hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive from Naval Brief. The Minervagracht wasn't a warship. It wasn't even armed. It was a commercial vessel, hauling general cargo through one of the busiest, most dangerous shipping lanes on Earth. That night, the Gulf was calm. The sea reflected the stars. But just after 2100 hours local time, crew on the bridge picked up something on radar, a fast, low contact coming in from the Yemeni coastline. The first reaction wasn't panic. These kinds of ghosts appear often. Drones, aircraft, sometimes just noise. But this contact wasn't fading. It was accelerating. Within seconds, the bridge alarms went off. The crew knew what that meant. Missile inbound. They didn't have weapons. They didn't have countermeasures. Their only hope was speed, luck, and the hope the missile would miss. But it didn't. The projectile, believed to be a Houthi-launched anti-ship missile, slams into the side of the Minervagracht with terrifying precision. The explosion rips through steel, sets fire to the cargo deck, and sends shockwaves through the hull. Windows shatter. Machinery tears loose. In an instant, the night sky lights up in a flash that can be seen for miles. 2 crew members are seriously injured. Others scramble through smoke and fire, trying to contain what they can with extinguishers and pumps that feel pitifully small against the scale of the blaze. The captain's mayday goes out within minutes, triggering a rapid military response. A helicopter lifts them off one by one. 19 sailors pulled from the burning ship and flown to safety. One of the injured crew members later passes away from their wounds, a reminder of how quickly a missile strike turns routine into tragedy. The fire left the Minervagracht badly damaged. Salvage teams later towed the vessel to the port of Djibouti, where it remains heavily damaged. Not long after, the Houthis in Yemen claim responsibility for the attack. It's hardly a surprise since for months, they have been escalating maritime strikes, pushing their reach beyond the Red Sea and deeper into the Gulf of Aden, aiming to disrupt shipping linked to the US, Israel, and its partners. Their message was the same. No ship aiding the enemy will sail safely. The strike on the Minervagracht wasn't random. Just a week earlier, on September 23rd, the vessel had already been targeted in a failed Houthi strike. But this time they succeeded. It fits a pattern that's been building since late 2023, a campaign of long-range drones, cruise missiles, and increasingly precise targeting. The front line of the Shadow War has been steadily expanding southward, pulling the Gulf of Aden deeper into the conflict. The image of a burning freighter in international waters spreads fast. Overnight, the strike sends ripples through global shipping and insurance markets. But this wasn't just about one ship. This isn't just another missile fired into the sea. It's a direct hit against a commercial vessel under a neutral flag, far from any declared war zone. Governments across Europe and beyond condemned the strike. The Dutch Foreign Minister, David Van Wil, called it a threat to freedom of navigation and urged the European Union to sanction the Houthis. The EU labeled the attack a blatant violation of maritime security and international law. Behind the diplomatic statements, the message was clear. The Houthis had expanded their front line. What began months earlier as drone harassment in the Red Sea was now a full-fledged missile campaign stretching into the Gulf of Aden, one of the world's busiest maritime channels. For sailors, the Gulf of Aden already carried a reputation. In the 2000s, it was piracy that kept captains awake. Then it was smuggling. Now it's missiles flying low over the waves, invisible until it's too late. For shipping companies, the cost of sailing this corridor has skyrocketed. Insurance premiums have surged. Crews are on constant alert. Some companies are rerouting their ships around the Cape of Good Hope, a longer and more expensive voyage, but it's safer. For those who still pass through, the reality is brutal. The water is open, the routes are exposed, and help? If it comes, is measured in minutes. But this wasn't the first time these waters burned. In the weeks before and after the Minervagracht strike, Houthi forces launched dozens of drones and missiles at commercial and naval vessels throughout the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. They've hit tankers, cargo ships, and even warships. Not all attacks succeeded. Many were intercepted. But only takes one. These attacks don't just disrupt shipping. They strain navies around the world. U.S., French, British, and other coalition ships are now patrolling a maritime corridor that spans thousands of miles. Every alert requires a response. Every radar contact, a decision. And for merchant ships, most don't have weapons on board. After the September attack, escort operations increased. Coalition warships began closer patrol formations, creating safe lanes through the el-Mandeb Strait and the Gulf of Aden. But even that comes with risks. In a war zone with no clear front line and no formal declarations, every ship is both a target and a test case. For the Houthis, the Minervagracht attack proved they could hit commercial targets far beyond the Red Sea. For the coalition, it proved something else. No ship is truly safe here anymore. It's easy to talk about missiles, radar pings, or geopolitical strategy. But the human cost was written in the faces of the 19 crew members pulled from that burning ship. These weren't soldiers. They weren't intelligence officers. They were cooks, engineers, deckhands, men and women whose job is to keep the world moving. One of them didn't make it home. And that's what sticks with the sailors who do. The sea doesn't care whose flag you fly. The Gulf of Aden remains under tight watch. Coalition warships patrol day and night, their sensors sweeping for the next launch. Naval analysts say the Houthi campaign has permanently changed the threat environment in one of the world's key shipping lanes. Drones, cruise missiles, and proxy warfare have replaced the pirate skiffs of a decade ago. And while navies are adapting, the threat moves faster. Every convoy that sails through the el-Mandeb is now a gamble between detection, interception, and survival. The Minervagracht wasn't the first ship to be hit, and it won't be the last. This is the story of a ship that burned in one of the world's most dangerous straits, and a message that fire sent around the globe. A message every captain in the Gulf of Aden understands now. The sea is open, the danger is real, and no one sails invisible. Thanks for watching this Naval Brief. If you're all hands on deck with maritime conflict, naval power, and defense analysis, subscribe and stay mission ready for the next briefing.